I think there's a thing to be said about Warner Brothers, the DCEU, DC adapted properties, and just where things are going. And I think it's moving further and further away from what they spent the last 6 years building. Today actually marks the 6 year anniversary of Man of Steel. I still think that's one of the top five films of 2013. Fight me on that one. Really, I really loved it. Didn't think I would, but I did. And here it is 6 years later, and we're seeing this report from We Got This Covered, which of course, please take this with an absolute grain of salt, that apparently Warner Brothers is developing a live action Teen Titans movie. It makes a lot of sense that this is the case. Last year, they had Teen Titans Go come out at the middle of summer. They've clearly got the Titans TV series. It makes a lot of sense that this, of course, is where they want to go, because who watches Teen Titans, the animated show? Who watches Teen Titans Go? Who watches Titans on DCU? I'm not too sure who watches that. I don't know how many. I don't know their numbers, but it's all aimed at kids. It's all aimed at the younger audience, and the younger audience has grown up now, and they might be interested in seeing a movie based upon the property. And it just seems to make the most amount of sense to do this, by the way. Now, it says here, over the course of the past couple of years, it's been a good time for Teen Titans. The adolescent superhero team were previously severely overlooked on screen, but 2018 gave us both their first cinematic outing and the surprisingly enjoyable Teen Titans Go to the Movies, and then their first action TV series in the form of DC Universe's Titans. If the information is correct, the team might be headed for the big one too, as a live action film could be underway. So that makes the most amount of sense, right? Teen Titans Go to the Movies was well rated. People seem to like it. If you enjoyed that type of Powerpuff Girl animation, I don't. But then again, it's not aimed at someone like me. And I get that, and I'm fine with that. So it goes on to say here that We Got This Covered has been told by our source that Warner Brothers is working on a movie for the Teen Titans. Curiously, it could be called Young Justice League, which makes it sound like the project will hew closer to Young Justice Team from the comics and the beloved animated series. The only two characters that they've heard are that will be involved is Batgirl and Nightwing, although many others might be featured. So, and it goes on to talk about the villain, which is the Hive, but that doesn't even really matter at this point. Think about it like this. Warner Brothers is reportedly looking at rebooting the DCEU. That's what's coming out as well. And that makes a lot of sense that they would want to kind of start over again. They would want to go to the fan base and see what the fans like. Well, not the CW shows, which I feel that it's a really dumb move to not migrate them over to a feature film. I do. I think if they're going to reboot it in that universe, the Greg Berlanti ARROWVERSE, I think that would be the best course of action, because that is where people know them from in the general pop culture sphere right now. That is where the Flash is popular on a massive scale, on a global scale. It's not to say that the character of the Flash isn't popular in comics and other mediums. He is, so is Arrow, but that world is what's been around now for 6 years, and that is what people know, and that is what should be adapted. And the Titans TV show it's not part of the Arrowverse, I don't believe, but it is produced by Greg Berlanti, so it is underneath that umbrella, similar to Supergirl, and they are able to find a way to merge that world together by just going to Earth 2. But coming over here to Rotten Tomatoes, we can see that Titans Season 1 has a 79% tomato meter, as well as a 74% audience score. And this is before all their crazy new verified stuff, right? So we can see that there is clearly a positive association with this show, even though the marketing has been absolutely terrible. Just look at this poster right there. That's still god awful. It looks like it was first year Photoshop, and that is the official DC Titans marketing. The show thankfully overcame the problems with its marketing. But I do feel that if they are going to be turning this into a film, if they are going to be turning this into something, it is most likely going to be this adaptation. It is most likely going to be coming after Titans either leaves DC Universe, because it does feel that DC Universe at this point is going to be canceled. They're just going to end the service after maybe its first year or some change, and then just maybe move it into the Warner Media service. But this, of course, is where I think they're going to go, and it makes the most sense. It's the highest rated live action. It's not connected to the Arrowverse. If they're looking to reboot the DCEU and they want to start with Young Justice, these characters are well known, well beloved in multiple mediums, different animated series, the feature film last year, the TV show. They are popular, which means that fans would come out to see them. Now, if they were going to do Young Justice League or Young Justice or whatever they're going to do, a Teen Titans movie, the movie would not be anywhere near as mature as the TV series, which means that they probably would, for season 2 of the show, really tone it down. And I think we're going to be able to find out more about that come probably Comic-Con next month, whether or not they actually did tone it down, because I guarantee you they're going to be talking a little bit about this. Warner Brothers may not have a Hall H panel, but that doesn't mean that the TV side of things isn't going to be represented. We'll have to wait for the full schedule to come out, but I do think if they are developing a Teen Titans movie, it is going to be based more off of the TV series than not. And I say that simply because it's the right move. It's the smart move. It's the smart play. But I want to hear your thoughts, your opinions. Do you think this is a good idea, a bad idea? Where would you like to see the show go? Would you like to see it tied to Titans, or would you like to see it wholly recast? Do you think they should reboot the DCEU? Lots of questions, but I want to know how you feel about it. Let me know down in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day, and peace out.